Well, you're welcome to the sports segment here on the AM Show. Tonight, big one at Anfield, Liverpool up against Bayern Munich is a UEFA Champions League, one of 16 first leg. Also in France, we see Lyon will play host to Barcelona. And then yesterday, wow, Stamford Bridge, another defeat for Chelsea, and now it's trending everywhere. Sarri out. That's what the Chelsea fans are saying. You can't be playing games and be losing week in, week out. Well, that's not a mark of a good coach, so they want Sarri out. We'll look at the match. We'll show you highlights of what happened yesterday in that FA Cup game, which Manchester United won by 2-0. But here on the local scene, the Ghana FA Normalization Committee will not apologize to the Premier League clubs for their recent statement branding the clubs as selfish, greedy and braggadocio. Now, the statement on the cancellation of the special competition didn't go down well with the clubs, and they have since asked the Normalization Committee to retract and apologize. But spokesperson of the committee, Dan Kukuyoboah, says they've done nothing wrong to apologize.
The import of that paragraph was to emphasize that a certain level of greed, a certain level of selfishness, a certain level of braggadocio were exhibited, and that brought our football this low. And indeed, anybody who watched the Anas video would bear witness to the fact that the title was "When Greed and Corruption Becomes the Norm." So we were making reference to what actually brought our football this low. We were saying that, yes, all these things, all these traits were exhibited that brought our football this far, but we are not going to allow our football to die on the altar of these attributes of selfishness, greed and braggadocio. We did not mean to insult anybody, and they have to take it from us. Dr. Kufiamo has a lot of respect for the major football constituents, and he would never insult anybody.
But in terms of the money, they're asking for accountability and transparency. All right, so Dan Kukuyoboah and his bosses have received the backing of veteran coach Sarpong to ignore the Premier League clubs in their quest to, restructuring Ghana football.
No. If the Normalization Committee apologizes to the clubs, it's a bad taste. It's in bad taste. I think if you read the last paragraph of what they wrote, the statement they gave up, didn't call for any apology.
Okay.
They were referring to, in fact, they were referring to a specific issue, including Ghanaians, that Ghanaians should know that because of what we have gone through, we will not sit down for all these things to go through again. So I think it doesn't call for any apology, no. Okay. If anything, I thought the club should rather apologize to the the Normalization Committee for bringing us back this low. We want to play football. Tomorrow is one. The next morning you wake up, another confusion here and there. It doesn't work out well for football development in this country.
That was Coach Sarpong speaking there, back in the Normalization Committee not to apologize to the Premier League clubs. We'll have to move on and do some more. And today on our Down Memory Lane, we'll look at Michael Essien, what an illustrious football career he's had. From Liberty Professionals to Europe, France, Bastia, Lyon, Chelsea, Real Madrid, AC Milan. You can talk of the clubs that he's played. Well, Michael Essien says that his mom convinced him to choose football.
When I was selected to the national under-17 side, I was in school at that time, and my mom said, "Oh, it's going to be a difficult one. You really want to go?" I think my answer was no. I love playing football. Football is everything to me. As a child growing up, all I want to do is to play football. I come back from school, and I have my lunch, and I pick my ball. I go outside and play with my friends. So, as a boy growing up with my 4 other sisters, it was only my mom around, and I was the last in my family and the only boy. At one point, I have to leave my family, especially my mom. I was very attached to my mom. I remember when I was selected to the national under-17 side, I was in school at that time, and my mom said, "Oh, it's going to be a difficult one. Do you really want to go?" I think my answer was no. My mom sat me down, and I said, "My son, you should go." So I have to take that sacrifice and move away from my mom and pursue my career. As everyone, if you want to go to the top, it's a lot of hard working and sacrifices to do. So my advice to them is never give up, keep working hard, and they will make it one day.